This video is going to be a beginner tutorial for Autodesk FormIt. If you don't know, Autodesk FormIt is an easy-to-use 3D modeling software. It's really similar to SketchUp, however, it's better because it's fully integrated in the Autodesk software family, so you can quickly convert it into Revit geometry, and that's exactly what I'm going to be showing you. I'm going to show you how to model kind of an interesting building inside of FormIt, and then we're going to be bringing that into Revit so we can continue working on it there. Also, I'm going to be showing you how you can use your Revit model and add to it inside of FormIt by using some of the FormIt's intuitive and easy to use modeling tools. Now in this video I'm going to be showing you how to use FormIt both as a web-based tool, so browser-based inside of your web browser so it doesn't really strain your computer, and also how you can use it as a standalone software. Let's go. Now quickly, before we jump into FormIt, I would just like to ask you to check out my website, balkanarchitect.com. I'm going to link it up in the cards above and then also down in the description of this video. If you're serious about learning Revit, that's definitely the best place to be, with over 140 hours of content dedicated to all of the interesting and complex topics inside of Revit. So now, without any further ado, let's jump straight into FormIt. And here we are on, well, we're not in FormIt, however, we are on the Autodesk website, and let's get started by first signing in. I'm already signed in, so I can go straight to products and services, and this is where we can access FormIt. Now here on the products and services page, you want to search for FormIt, so let's go FormIt. Okay, so here what you'll notice is we have two options. We have kind of a standalone application that you run on your Windows, that's one, and then the second one is a cloud-based option, so that runs on cloud. What that means is when I hit access, it's going to open up just another tab in my web browser, and I can start creating my model there. Here we have some properties which I'm just going to get rid of, and then also if you want to set up your project location, you can do it here. So yeah, basically just a map, and you can search for the location so you can get accurate data in terms of the site. Moving forward, we obviously want to make sure that we have our units set correctly, so I want to do this in meters, so I'm just going to set that to meters. And now, without any further ado, we can start working on our model. Now keep in mind I'm orbiting just with my right click, right mouse button, yeah, that's pretty much it, and then you can hold the scroll wheel to pan, zoom in and out with the scroll wheel as well, just by rotating it. Anyways, let's now go here to create sketch. I'm just going to be using lines, so let's pick a line, start from the coordinate center. I'm going to follow the x-axis, and as you can see here, as I'm moving, it's going to display the values. So here, let's go up to 3 meters. Now I'm just going to go again, and here in this case, let me just type in 5, and it's going to give us the set length dialog. Click OK, and it's basically created a 5-meter line. Now let's follow the y-axis. See how when I snap to that green line, that's the y-axis, and when I snap to blue, that's the z-axis. So I'm just going to snap to that green line, and let's go 25 meters. Hit enter. Now let's go back to the y-axis, click, and now I'm just going to come to the intersection, or the end point of these two lines. Click there, and then hit the escape key a couple of times. Now that hitting the escape key brings us back to the select tool. That's this one here. Okay, I'm going to select this line, delete it, then I can select the entire surface, and when I hover over it again, see those two arrows pointing up and down? That means that I can move this up and down. So I'm just going to move it up a little bit and then type in 10, click OK. So now this is going to be 10 meters tall. See? Looks cool. Okay, so once we have that shape created, now I want to create kind of an entrance to the building here. So I'm going to do that simply by going to create sketch, picking out the rectangle, and then let's make this, I'm going to go with something like 6 by 4 meters. So let's start from here, go up by 4 meters, and then let's go here up to 6. So again, type in 6. Enter, there we go. Then I'm going to hit the escape key a couple of times, select that face, and then pull it in, and just type in 0.5, hit enter, and there we go. So we have the entrance there, and I want it also appearing here on the side. So for that side, let's go with about 3 meters. So again, rectangle, start from here, there, and yeah, let's go 2.5. Yeah, I think this will work. Perfect. Go back to the select tool and select it, and then move it in. Let's see. Yes, here we seem to have an issue. Let's just go back a few steps. Okay, so I think I was drawing this in the y-axis, so this can happen sometimes, so be careful. So again, let's start here from the x, go to here. See how it's following the y-axis? I didn't notice that earlier. And now it's following the building. So you want it to follow the building. So anyways, 2.5, hit enter. Okay, there, now it's on the building. And now hit the escape key a couple of times to get to the select tool, select it, move it in, and then again 0.5, hit enter, perfect. Okay, so once we have created this, now it's time to create some other shapes. Now before we do that, here with FormIt, you want to first group elements, because if you continue working on this, FormIt is going to think that you're trying to just add to this form, and you don't. So what I'll do is I'm just going to double click on the entire form. It's going to highlight in blue, meaning everything is selected as one piece of solid geometry. Right click, and you're going to get this circular menu, and the first button here is create group. So now this is grouped. And also I'm going to be working on this facade here, which is at an angle, so it doesn't really make sense for my coordinate system to not be matching that. So what I'll do is I'm not going to rotate the building, I'm just going to move the coordinate system. So make sure nothing is selected, right click in empty space, and then pick out your set axis button. I'm going to place it here and then rotate the x-axis like this. Click once again just to confirm that, and there we go. So as you can see, the coordinate system position has been changed, and now we can continue working. Okay, so now to place this, to continue working on this, what I'll do is, again, I'm going to go with create sketch, rectangle, and then let's go from here. So this is on the y-axis. I'm just going to click on that. Then I'm going to go all the way up, kind of above the building, and then extend it by following the y-axis like this. So we have a shape like this. The reason why I'm doing this, I want to have some shapes here hosted on the building. However, I need to have a plane on which I'm going to be working. So that's why I'm creating all of this. And then let's hit the escape key a couple of times, select it, and then extend it by 0.8 meters, hit enter, and this is what we have. Now again, hit the escape key a couple of times, double click, and I can just right click on it and group this as well. So this is now another kind of completely unique form. Okay, so here I just want to show you one more trick. Here we have these advanced modeling tools. So one of these is the cut a solid from another solid. So I can select this and then select this, and it's basically going to remove this area from this. So it's working kind of like a void. And then when I hit finish, it's done. So now if I select this and if I move it, as you can see, it has that opening. Okay, anyways, let's now go back. The reason why I did this is I can now have these lines here where I can easily host additional lines on. So let's go back to the line tool and just this one, start from the bottom, go up to here for about 5 meters, go up by a meter, go back by perhaps 7, and then let's go down like this, and then finish it off here at the where we've started. Hit the escape key a couple of times, and now we can select that form and we can then extrude it as much as we want. So I'm just going to extrude it by 0.8 meters, hit enter, perfect. Now I can select this shape and hit delete to remove it, and now we have this form here on the edge of the building. Actually, I'm just going to increase the size a little bit, so perhaps, yeah, I'm just eyeballing it here. Yeah, I think this would look nice. Okay, so once we have this shape created, I'm just going to double click on it, and now I'm not going to group it because it will be automatically grouped when I array it, and that's what I want to do. I want to repeat this shape multiple times across the length of this building. So let's again just double click on this, right click on it, and now here we have the array function. So depending on where what's selected and where you click, you're going to get different menus. See? So again, here this will be an array, it will be total length, and then it will be linear, and I want to have 5 of these, and I want them grouped. So this is checked on. Click OK, and then I can select it here, extend it, and then place it just like that. Perfect. So there we go, we have that shape. Now we can continue working on this, and just because this is arrayed and grouped, that means if I make a change to one of these, it will apply that change to all of them. So I'm just going to come to this one, I'm going to select it, right click, and here we have the edit group function. So as you can see now, only this is being edited. Here I can go and use my create sketch. Let's create a rectangle here, just like perhaps like this. Okay, then I'm just going to hit the escape key a couple of times. Oops, I have escaped out of the complete group. So let me go back, right click, edit group. And here you can see how everything that I've made has been repeated in the group. That's cool. So now I'm just going to delete these lines here because I don't need them. Then I'm going to select this shape and then just push it away until it's all gone. Finally, I'm going to select this edge here. I'm going to right click on that, and here we have this face or offset face function. And now I can offset it by the value of 0.2 meters, hit enter just like this, and then I can select this face, push it in a little bit if I want, just like that. Yeah, definitely looks good. So there we go. I can just now hit finish. And now this change has been applied to rest of this group members. And there we go. We have created a project in less than or around 10 minutes that looks really, really good. And I was creating instructions for this. So if you were doing this kind of freely, it would probably take 5 minutes. Anyways, now it's time to save this. So let's go to the menu. Let's go to save sketch or save as. I'm just going to save it locally. Name test project, and then click OK, and now the sketch has been saved locally. Here it's in my downloads folder. That's where it's going to save that. So anyways, the next step is going to be to open this up in Revit. And here I am in Revit. So now I'm just going to go here to the Insert tab, and then let's go to Import CAD. And in my downloads folder, I'm going to find that file. Now you want to make sure that the file type is set to FormIt files, and as you can see, the file is over here, our test project, and now I'm just going to open that file. Here it is. I can unpin it, move it to the center, pin it back in, and let's go to the 3D view, and this is what we have. Now we can use this as reference to model over. So I can go here to architecture, wall, and then I can use pick lines. And then I can pick these lines. However, if I go to pick faces or pick walls, it's not going to work. So the reason for that is just because the functionality is so when you load this in directly, it's just going to work like that. However, and let me just move this perhaps off to the side a little bit, I'm going to show you a workaround. So what you can do is you can go here to File, New, and then Family. Then here you want to pick out something like a, I don't know, generic model, hit open, and just repeat that same process inside of the family. So go to Insert, Import CAD, and I'm just going to import the same file, open, there we go. I'm just going to center it a little bit like that, pin it back in, save it. So I'm just going to save it. Let's save it on the desktop and call this one the test project family. Hit save, and now we can load this into the project and close it, and I can just place it next to this one. Hit the escape key a couple of times, go to the 3D view, and now with this, what I can do is I can go to masking and site, I can go to curtain system, and then I can place a curtain system here and here and here and so on. So I can create create curtain system. Let me just change this to realistic or something. Yeah, then I can go to masking a site, I can go to walls, and I can just pick these surfaces, and Revit is going to be applying walls there. So you can pretty much start turning this into a building really quickly. However, you do have to use this workaround and basically load it in through a family instead of directly loading it in from FormIt. And now we're going to be taking a look at how can we use FormIt to add something or model something for our existing Revit model. So FormIt is not only kind of as a starting phase, it can be used to model just an additional part of a Revit model, just like you would use an in-place mass or an in-place family. So here I have this office building. I've just applied a section box to make it a bit smaller, and let's say on this facade I want to add something and I want to use FormIt. So for that, I would go here to Masking and Site, and there we have on the conceptual mass, we have the add or 3D sketch. We have the FormIt icon here, so we know we can use that. Now keep in mind that for this, you do need to have FormIt installed on your computer as a desktop or Windows version, so not the cloud-based version. It will not work for this. So anyways, here you can launch FormIt with the visible Revit objects, so that means this section box, or with the selected Revit object. So you can just select a few objects and then bring that into FormIt, or in this case, I want to launch it with pretty much everything, or exactly everything. So that will now launch FormIt. Now we need to start FormIt, and it's going to look like this. So I'm just zooming out a little bit. Now here we have the map as well. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of it by going here to layers, and then here we have the satellite imagery, so I can turn that off, and now I can close all of this off. Let's just turn off everything here. Okay, so now let's get started with working on this model. So the first thing that I want to do is just go here to our sketch tool, expand the drop menu, and then let's go with a rectangle. I'm going to draw it here on this facade, so let's go from this corner. Let's see where that is. Oops, not that. So here, this position, go all the way to the other side. So that would be here. And then we want to extend it down. Now see how it kind of figured out that we have the z-axis here. So what I can do is I can just hold the shift key, and now we can basically attach it to anything. So it's going to follow that z-axis, but it's going to figure out up to which point I want to go. So I can just click here, and as long as I'm holding the shift key, see how it's locked down. When I release the shift key, it's going to go off to the side like this, but first we can define it to go down the z-axis, hold the shift key, and now I can just click here in this corner, and it's going to place that rectangle there. Hit the escape key a couple of times. Now here I also want to change the units, so let's just change them to meters real quick. Then let's go back, select this, and then let's pull it out, and let's go about let's actually pull it out a little bit. See how it now figured out it's pulling it out kind of vertically. And now again I can hold the shift key and I can just click on any line here. So I'm just going to hit this mullion, click to release, or just release the click, and we have this. Now let's continue working on this. So I'm just going to go here off to the side, pick the line tool, and then let's draw on this face something that looks like that. Okay, just like this. Hit the escape key a couple of times, select it, and then I'm just going to push it all the way there, so it's basically going to delete that part. And then here on top, let's create kind of a fillet edge effect. So for that, I'm just going to go here, find an arc, and then let's go from here at a 45-degree angle, just like that, then create an arc just like this. Switch back to a line, and then let's just create a shape like so. Hit the escape key a few times, select this, and then I can just again just kind of push it away, and it's going to kind of create a clean cut at that edge. And let's say this will be some sort of a billboard, lit up billboard, or kind of screen billboard. So for that, let's create an offset here. So I'm just going to select this face, right click, and then let's go with the offset. and let's create an offset like this. Hit the escape key a couple of times, select this, and then let's move it in just a little bit like that. And there we go. Looks fairly decent. Hit the escape key a few times, double click, and now I'm just going to group this. So right click and then hit on group. Perfect. So we have our kind of screen billboard on the side of the building, and now I want to bring this back into Revit. So what I'll do is I'm just going to go here, kind of back to Revit. We have to save this, so I'm just going to save it on my desktop, and let's call it the FormIt test file 2, and then hit save. So it's going to save that, and the objects were sent to the Revit model. So if I close this down, you can see back here in Revit, I have that object. So it's just like a CAD import, and it's a FormIt test file. You can see it there. So there we go. We have now used FormIt to improve our Revit model. So that's going to conclude this video. If you want to get access to all of these Revit project files, you can find them on my Patreon page, which I'm going to link up in the cards above, and then also down in the description of this video. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to check out my website, balkanarchitect.com, for more Revit courses. There I have over 120 hours of content, and I'm adding more each week. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and also I've added a video over there that might interest you as well.